What if your lottery numbers weren't just numbers, but spiritual signals? Most people play the lottery hoping for a miracle. But here's the truth. Luck doesn't strike randomly. It flows where your energy aligns. As we move toward Monday, May 12th, 2025, a day many believe carries potent vibrations of clarity and abundance, you're being invited to look deeper. These 6 numbers we'll explore today. They're more than digits. They're mirrors, reflecting back where your focus, emotion, and energy truly live. The conflict. Too often we chase wealth from a place of fear, not faith. We search outside for luck, while ignoring the powerful inner shifts that make abundance sustainable. That's why this isn't just a video about lucky numbers. It's a guide to energetic alignment. Each number holds meaning. Each meaning carries a message. And that message may be exactly what your life needs right now. Before we begin, give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss powerful insights like these. And here's your first step. Comment below. I welcome growth and harmony into my life. That simple act can shift your mindset and your energy starting now. Ready to discover the 6 energies guiding May 12th. Let's dive in. Part 1, number 6, harmony in relationships. Sometimes the richest moments in life aren't measured in dollars, but in the quiet healing of a broken relationship. The number 6 is more than just a number. It's an invitation to reconnect. It carries the vibration of compassion, balance, and emotional harmony. If you're noticing tension between you and someone close, or if old emotional wounds have been quietly stealing your peace, this is the number calling you back to love. Let me tell you about Linda, a retired caregiver in her early 60s. For years, she lived with a silent ache, the growing distance between her and her adult daughter, Natalie. They hadn't fought exactly, but life misunderstandings and years of unsaid words had built a wall between them. Birthdays turned into text messages, phone calls turned into silence. One evening, while journaling under a full moon, Linda stumbled across a meditation on the number 6 and the Buddhist quote, "Hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule." It hit her like a wave. She realized she had been quietly waiting for her daughter to change, to apologize, to come back. But empathy isn't about waiting. It's about reaching. That night, Linda wrote Natalie a letter. Not to fix everything, not to explain or defend, just to say, "I love you, I miss you, and I see you." A week later, Natalie called. There were tears. Some hesitation, but that one letter opened a door. It wasn't a grand reunion. It was a small bridge, and small bridges are where healing begins. That's the energy of the number 6 patient, nurturing and brave enough to go first. In relationships, especially with family or old friends, it reminds us that connection doesn't come from being right. It comes from being real. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to forget how powerful soft actions are. A gentle word, a deep breath before responding, a willingness to see someone else's pain even when you're hurting too. So this week, as May 12th approaches, pause and ask yourself, where in my life can love replace judgment? It might be in a strained relationship with a sibling, a friend you've drifted from, or even with yourself, because sometimes the harshest distance is the one inside. Use the energy of 6 to soften, to reconnect, to listen without trying to fix, to speak with honesty but also with kindness. When you do, something beautiful happens. Walls become windows, silence becomes space, and hearts begin to remember how to trust. Harmony doesn't always arrive with a dramatic gesture. Sometimes it starts with a whisper, and number 6 is that whisper. Part 2, number 14, strategic creativity and transformation. Most people think success comes from wild inspiration or rigid discipline. But the number 14 whispers a deeper truth. Real transformation lives in the dance between both. Number 14 blends the bold independence of 1 with the steady, grounded energy of 4. It symbolizes the perfect fusion of vision and structure. And when these forces unite, breakthroughs are not just possible, they're inevitable. Let's talk about Elena. She's 52, an artist at heart, and an office manager by trade. For years, her sketchbooks filled with ideas that never left the page. She told herself she didn't have time. Too many bills, too many responsibilities. Maybe when I retire, she'd say with a shrug. But one day, while decluttering her workspace, she stumbled on an old notebook. On the cover, she had scribbled, "Art is freedom, but freedom needs a home." It was dated May 14th, 10 years ago. That moment stopped her cold. She realized she had been waiting for life to give her permission to pursue her dreams, never realizing she was the one who needed to create the space. That night, Elena made a choice, just 30 minutes a day for her art. But here's the catch. She scheduled it, same time every evening. It wasn't spontaneous or magical. It was disciplined, and slowly her dream gained weight, shape momentum. Within a year, she opened an Etsy store. 2 years later, she left her full-time job. That's the energy of 14 strategic creativity. Not the kind that burns bright and fades fast, but the kind that builds something real, one brick at a time. And here's the conflict many of us face. We want to create, but resist structure. We crave freedom, but lack a plan. We chase inspiration, but never follow through. But number 14 says you don't have to choose. You can be both the dreamer and the doer. The Buddha taught the middle way, a path between extremes. That teaching lives inside the energy of 14. It's not about all or nothing. It's about balance. The brushstroke and the blueprint. The spark and the system. So if you've been holding on to a dream, starting a business, writing a book, changing careers, this number is your sign, not to leap blindly, but to plan boldly. Here's your journal prompt for this week. Where in my life do I need more freedom? And where do I need more structure? Be honest with yourself. Maybe your mornings are chaotic. Can you design a ritual to ground your focus? Maybe your creativity feels blocked. Can you set boundaries around your time to protect it? Remember, creativity is not random. It flourishes when you give it a container. As we move toward Monday, May 12th, align with 14, and by doing this, choose one dream you've been postponing. Break it into small, manageable steps. Schedule the first 20 minutes this week, not someday, because when freedom has structure, it becomes momentum. And momentum, that's how ordinary people do extraordinary things. Number 14 isn't just a lucky number. It's a reminder that discipline isn't the enemy of creativity. It's the ally. So go build something. Not just for success, but for the version of you that's been waiting to come alive. Part 3, number 27, Compassionate Wisdom. In a world that rewards speed, performance, and visibility, the number 27 arrives like a quiet breeze. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand. Instead, it gently taps you on the shoulder and says, "Go within. Your wisdom is already here." Number 27 combines the nurturing cooperation of 2 with the spiritual depth of 7. Together they create a powerful vibration of empathy, introspection, and healing. This isn't surface-level kindness. It's the kind of wisdom that can only come from living through life's harder chapters. Let me introduce you to Marcus, a retired paramedic in his late 60s. For over 30 years, he ran toward emergencies, fixed what was broken, and walked through grief with strangers. But what most people didn't know was that Marcus had spent the last 15 years estranged from his son. They had a falling out, differences in values, harsh words exchanged, years of silence. Marcus buried himself in work, telling himself he was too busy to deal with it. But the truth, he didn't know how to face the shame or the sadness until one day after a friend's funeral, he sat in the garden and whispered aloud, "I miss him. I'm tired of pretending I don't." That was the moment 27 energy entered his life. It didn't come with fireworks or dramatic gestures, just a quiet realization if he had spent his whole life helping strangers through pain, could he now apply that same compassion inward to himself and then to his son? He wrote a letter. No expectations, no pressure, just vulnerability. And 3 weeks later, his son responded. Slowly through small phone calls, their relationship began to mend. It wasn't easy, but healing never is. And that's the sacred message of number 27. Healing begins when you soften toward your own pain. If you resonate with this number, you're likely someone who feels deeply. You pick up on the unspoken. You notice what others miss. You might be the listener in your family, the one people come to when they're lost. That's a gift, but it can also become a burden if you forget to care for yourself too. So ask yourself this week, where have I been giving too much without receiving? And what does my heart need right now to feel whole again? The Buddha often taught that compassion starts with the self. Without that foundation, giving becomes draining. But when we tend to our own emotional soil, we grow the capacity to hold space for others with boundaries, grace, and joy. Number 27 also reminds you that wisdom doesn't come from perfection. It comes from presence, from learning how to stay open, even when your heart feels heavy, from trusting that you don't have to have all the answers, just the willingness to ask better questions. As we approach Monday, May 12th, let 27 guide you inward. Write a letter you'll never send. Meditate with your hand over your heart. Reach out to someone not to fix things, but just to say, "I'm thinking of you." You don't need a dramatic moment to heal a lifetime of distance. You need honesty, compassion, and courage. The quiet kind that changes everything. Because in the end, the most powerful wisdom isn't loud, it's loving. And number 27 is a reminder that the gentlest voice often carries the greatest truth, art. For number 22, the Master Builder. In numerology, there's a name reserved for only the most powerful of numbers, the Master Builder. That title belongs to number 22. Why? Because it holds a rare energy, the ability to turn dreams into tangible reality, while number 2 represents cooperation, intuition, and peace. And number 4, 2 plus 2, symbolizes structure and hard work. Number 22 transcends both. It's not just about dreaming big. It's about building boldly, with both spiritual depth and real-world commitment. Let me share the story of Judith, a former school teacher who always dreamed of opening a center for children with learning differences. For 25 years, she nurtured her students with heart staying late, spending her own money on supplies and dreaming of, someday, a space where learning was joyful, playful, and personalized. But there were always reasons to wait: money, timing, family doubt. Then at 58, after retiring early due to health issues, Judith sat in her kitchen one morning staring at a blank journal page. On it, she wrote a single question: if not now, then when? That moment changed everything. Over the next 18 months, she started small hosting weekend sessions in her garage. Then community support grew. Grants came, volunteers stepped up, and today that center exists. Not because she waited for perfect conditions, but because she started laying bricks one day, one choice at a time. That's the power of 22. It shows you that vision without action is a wish, but action grounded in vision builds a legacy. But here's the inner conflict. People who resonate with 22 often carry big dreams, but also big pressure. The vision is clear, but the fear of failure or being too late or not knowing how can feel paralyzing. The weight of responsibility can make even starting feel overwhelming. If that's you, breathe. The Buddha once said, "A jug fills, drop by drop," and that's exactly how the 22 energy works. Slowly, intentionally, faithfully. You don't need to leap. You need to lay the next brick. This number is especially relevant for those between ages 35 and 70 people who have lived enough life to know what matters, and now carry the wisdom to build it wisely. As May 12th draws near, here's your reflection prompt. What dream keeps calling to me? And what's one small step I can take this week to honor it? That step might be writing your mission statement, making a phone call, enrolling in a course, saying yes to an opportunity that feels scary but right. Also remember, this strength isn't in building alone. It's in asking for help, resting when needed and staying faithful, even when results are slow. Create a support circle. Share your dream with someone you trust. Put number 22 on your vision board, your calendar, your desk, wherever it reminds you that you're not just here to survive. You're here to create something meaningful. Because in the end, luck may bring temporary rewards, but alignment builds empires. And when you walk with the energy of 22 brick by brick, you're not just changing your life, you're building something that outlives you. Part 5, number 19, bold leadership and new beginnings. Number 19 doesn't ask for permission. It knocks on the door of your comfort zone and says, "It's time. Lead, begin." Now, there's something uniquely powerful about 19. It combines the independence and forward motion of number 1 with the wisdom, closure, and compassion of number 9. Together they form a sacred cycle: start, strong, finish with purpose. If you've been feeling stuck waiting for a sign or second-guessing a big life change, number 19 is your energetic green light. Let's talk about Andre, a 61-year-old man who spent most of his life working in middle management. Steady job, good benefits. But a lingering emptiness followed him home every day. His real passion: coaching young adults, mentorship, leadership, life guidance. But every time he thought about pursuing it, full-time doubts would flood in. I'm too old to start over. No one's going to listen to me now, it's too late. But one morning in April, he found himself journaling and wrote down the date. May 12th circled it and wrote next to it, "Start something bold." That single decision shifted his momentum. He created a small local workshop for teens free of charge. The turnout, more than he expected, word spread. Within months, he was speaking at schools, guiding youth programs, and had never felt more alive. The lesson: leadership isn't about being loud. It's about being clear and taking action, even when you're unsure. Number 19 challenges you to step into your role as a leader, not necessarily of others, but of your own life. If you've been drifting, now's the time to decide. If you've been silenced, now's the time to speak. If you've been shrinking, now's the time to expand. But here's the inner tension. Those drawn to number 19 often carry the weight of responsibility. They feel they must do it all alone or have it all figured out before they begin. Truth is real. Leadership doesn't come from control. It comes from clarity and connection. The Buddha taught you, yourself as much as anybody in the entire universe deserve your love and affection. And part of leadership is being willing to nurture yourself, not just drive yourself. So if you're at a crossroads and you've been asking, is it too late to start again? The answer from number 19 is a firm no. It's just beginning. As we approach May 12th, ask yourself, what new chapter am I ready to lead in my life? What am I afraid to begin? Simply because I think I have to do it perfectly, whether it's launching a business, retiring into purpose, writing your story, or finally, healing something old, number 19 reminds you, boldness creates breakthroughs. Here's a simple action. Write your goal as if it's already real. Say it out loud daily. Let it live in your passwords, your affirmations, your daily choices. Let 19 guide you into a life that's led from the soul, not just the schedule. Because in the end, starting something new doesn't mean abandoning the past. It means honoring everything you've learned and finally using it to walk forward with fire. Part 6, number 8, prosperity and power. If there's any number that makes people think of money, success, and power, it's number 8. But here's the truth that most people miss. True prosperity isn't just about how much you gain. It's about how aligned you are while gaining it. In numerology, the number 8 is the symbol of infinity turned upright. It represents the endless flow of give and receive, effort and reward, cause and effect. In Buddhist terms, it's the Dharma wheel in motion, karma in action. The energy of 8 asks one question again and again. Are you building wealth that matches your values? Let's meet Rena, a 65-year-old woman who spent decades chasing financial security. She worked 3 jobs at one point, saved every penny, and had a house paid off before 50. But even then, peace eluded her. She still feared losing it all, still felt empty, still dreamed of something more than numbers in an account. Then one day, while cleaning out her attic, she found an old journal inside a note she'd written to her younger self at 22. I want to help women build freedom, not just finances. That sentence cracked something open. She realized she hadn't been living in alignment. She had been surviving with skill, but not living with soul. That year, she started teaching basic budgeting and financial literacy to single mothers in her community for free. It brought her joy, purpose, and to her surprise, even more abundance grants support new connections. Her finances flourished the moment she stopped obsessing over more and focused on meaning. That's the sacred energy of 8, prosperity with purpose, power with compassion. But here's the shadow side, people drawn to. Number 8 often become obsessed with control. They fear losing what they've built. They equate worth with productivity. They hustle without pause. Yet real power isn't in the chase. It's in the clarity. It's in knowing what's enough and choosing flow over force. The Buddha once said, "To conquer oneself is a greater task than conquering others." And that's what number 8 teaches. You can build an empire. But if you lose your peace in the process, was it really worth it? So as May 12th draws near and you reflect on your goals, ask yourself, is the wealth I'm pursuing also feeding my soul? Am I operating from fear or from vision? Use this number as an anchor. Place an infinity symbol on your phone. Wallpaper. Meditate for 8 minutes, focusing on the breath in, the breath out. Practice giving and receiving equally, whether it's time, money, or energy. Number 8 reminds you that life is a mirror. What you put out with intention and integrity returns. So don't just wish for more. Align yourself with more. With structure, with flow, with self-trust, with sacred effort. Because real prosperity doesn't just change your bank account. It transforms how you walk through the world. Part 7, transforming financial pain into prosperity. 1. From panic to presence. When financial stress hits, panic is the default reaction, but presence, that's power. Take Jane, 59, who found herself overwhelmed by debt after a medical crisis. Instead of spiraling, she created a new ritual. 5 deep breaths before checking her bills. That pause anchored her. It didn't erase the debt, but it gave her the clarity to face it. Try this. Every time you feel financial anxiety, pause, breathe, ask, what do I know for sure? Right now. 2. Energy leak awareness. Not all spending is logical. Some of it is emotional. Track your expenses, but more importantly, Track your emotions. Ask yourself, was I trying to impress escape or align? Awareness turns reaction into intention. 3. The bare minimum budget blueprint. You don't need to fix everything at once. You need a lifeboat. List only what's essential. Food, shelter, utilities, transport. Then reflect. What can I live without, just for now to gain peace and breathing room? Even one small step like canceling an unused subscription reclaims power. 4. Speak kindly to yourself. Harsh self-talk keeps people broken. Replace it with conscious compassion. Create 3 affirmations from your shame triggers. I made mistakes, but I am learning. My bank balance is not my worth. I am capable of building again with grace. 5. Focus on income. First, cutting costs has limits. Earning has potential. If you're 50-70, consider these side gigs: tutoring, reselling online, elder caregiving, local handyman work, teaching hobbies, knitting, gardening, pet sitting, consulting, freelance writing, tour guiding, renting a spare room. One new stream can shift your entire financial trajectory. Use adversity as wisdom training. Financial pain isn't a punishment, it's preparation. Buddhism and Stoicism agree. Suffering is a teacher. Ask yourself, what am I learning now that I couldn't learn in ease? That's how survival becomes strengths. 7. One brave action per day. You don't need a miracle, you need momentum. Start small. Make that phone call. Apply for help. Update your resume. Track it with a weekly log. 7 steps in 7 days. Keep moving. When you combine presence, clarity, and action, you don't just escape financial pain, you transmute it into prosperity. Part 8. Aligning your energy with wealth. In Buddhist philosophy, wealth isn't just money. It's the presence of peace, generosity, and mindful purpose. As we approach May 12th, a spiritually charged day, let's shift from chasing wealth to aligning with it through 5 intentional rituals. 1. Morning Dharma check-in. Each morning, take 3 deep breaths and ask yourself, what can I release today? How can I serve with kindness? What one step brings me closer to my purpose? This simple reflection creates clarity and focus before your day begins, allowing abundance to meet you where you are too. Evening gratitude journal. Give and receive. Before bed journal, 2 things. What did I give today? Love, time, patience, skill. What did I receive? Support, insight, appreciation. This mindful accounting builds inner wealth and tunes your heart to the quiet rhythm of prosperity. Seed planting candle ritual for May 12. On the night of May 11, light a white candle. Place a small plant or bowl of soil nearby. Speak this aloud. I plant this seed with intention. May peace, purpose, and prosperity grow from what I give. Write down your abundance goal and place it beside the candle. Let this be your energetic anchor for Dana Practice 5-Day Giving Challenge. Dana or generosity clears stagnation. Try this. Day 1, offer a sincere compliment. Day 2, donate a small amount to someone in need. Day 3, help someone without being asked. Day 4, share your knowledge freely. Day 5, give away an item you no longer use. Each act shifts your energy from scarcity to flow. 5, vision board activation. The power of sacred numbers. Create a vision board with the 6 lucky numbers featured in this guide. 6, love and harmony. 14, bold creation. 27, compassionate wisdom. 22, legacy and structure. 19, courage to begin again. Flow of abundance. Place them intentionally across your board, alongside images that represent your values, not just your goals. Use photos of peaceful homes, meaningful work, joyful family moments. Let it reflect wealth of the soul, not just the wallet. Wealth isn't won, it's welcomed. By living intentionally, giving generously, and focusing daily, you become the magnet, not the seeker. Let May 12th be the day your energy finally aligns with your abundance. We began this journey with 6 numbers, but what we uncovered was so much more than digits. Each number, 6, 14, 27, 22, 19, and 8, carries its own message. Not just for lottery day, but for life. Harmony, creativity, compassion, structure, leadership, and abundance. These are not luck. They are energies you can live into. The truth is, prosperity doesn't start when you win. It starts when you align, when you breathe before reacting, when you take one brave action each day, when you speak kindly to yourself, give generously, and move forward, even when it's hard. As May 12th approaches, ask yourself not just what you want to receive, but who you're becoming while you wait. Because in the end, the most magnetic energy of all is a person fully present, purpose-driven, and peaceful in their pursuit. Before you go, like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay aligned with weekly wisdom, and comment below. I walk in alignment with abundance. Say it with intention. Let it echo into your next chapter. Whether your luck arrives in numbers, in growth, or in a quiet breakthrough, remember it all begins within. This is your time, your alignment, your abundance. And it starts right now.